Welcome to my channel, JC Diaz Uncensored. I'm back with another video for you guys. Let's talk about the Venezuelan situation. We all know there has been a conflict, or there is an ongoing conflict between the U.S. and the Venezuelan government right now, and the motives for this conflict are kind of unclear for us. I feel like it's kind of unclear. I don't feel like the U.S. president, President Trump, has been clear with the American people as to why he's going after the Venezuelan regime. I know that he's been saying that he's fighting the cartels and the drugs and all that. He's even been blowing up boats and ships without giving Congress an explanation, and we have no idea the reason why he's doing this. And we know there is a conflict between the U.S. government and the Venezuelan government. So in order to try to understand a little bit of the situation between the two countries, I put this little video together, and we're gonna play it, and then we'll be back and talk about that video for a little bit. Go ahead and play the video.
This essay will explain the recent histories of two nations in the Americas. It will look at Venezuela and the United States. Our goal is to understand how their paths have been so different. We will use a clear timeline. The words will be simple. We will look at events side by side. For Venezuela, our story begins around the year 1998. This was a time of great political change. For the United States, we will start around 2008, the year of a major economic crisis. The aim here is not to take sides, it is to present the facts clearly. We want to show how decisions made years ago affect lives today. We will explore the economies of both countries. We will also look at their politics. The story of modern Venezuela takes a sharp turn in 1998. That year, Hugo Chavez was elected president. He was a former military officer who promised a revolution. He called it the Bolivarian Revolution. His main promise was to help the country's poor. For decades, vast oil wealth had not reached many citizens. Chavez said he would change that. He tapped into deep frustration among millions. His victory marked a new political era. Many felt hope for a more equal future. Under Chavez, the government's role grew much larger. The state took more control over the oil industry and other sectors: telecommunications, electricity, food production. High oil revenues funded social programs called misiones, healthcare, subsidized food, education. For a time, poverty rates fell and many saw real improvements. From 2004 to 2008, oil fueled a boom. Venezuela was flooded with cash. Political power consolidated. Re-election allowed. Institutions aligned with the presidency. While Venezuela was riding high oil prices, the United States plunged into crisis. 2008 was a turning point. A collapse in housing triggered a massive financial meltdown. Major banks failed, Lehman Brothers failed. The worst crisis since the Great Depression sent shockwaves across the world. Millions lost jobs, homes, and savings. Fear and uncertainty gripped the nation. The government took drastic action, huge bailout packages under President George W. Bush, then President Barack Obama. Hundreds of billions to banks and automakers. The Fed slashed rates to encourage borrowing and spending. Controversial at the time, some called it unjust. Others said it saved the economy. The recovery was slow. Unlike Venezuela, the U.S. economy was diversified: technology, services, finance, manufacturing. Structures held, stores stayed stocked, utilities continued. The main problem was jobs and confidence. Institutions remained stable. Yet, anger grew. Many felt the system was rigged. New movements rose. Tea Party, Occupy Wall Street. Polarization deepened for the next decade. Shortly after Nicolás Maduro became president, Venezuela's fortunes turned for the worse. In 2014, global oil prices collapsed, catastrophic for an economy relying on oil for about 95% of export earnings. The river of money dried up. A weakened, shrinking private sector spiraled into freefall. The government printed money to pay bills. Hyperinflation followed. Prices skyrocketed, sometimes doubling in weeks or days. Salaries and savings were wiped out. Flour, rice, cooking oil, and even toilet paper disappeared. Medicine became scarce. Infrastructure crumbled. Blackouts and water shortages spread, healthcare fell apart, supplies, medicine, and even doctors were missing. In 2015, the opposition won the assembly, leading to gridlock. Large protests erupted. The government responded with force. Many opposition figures were arrested. In 2019, Juan Guaidó declared himself interim president, disputing Maduro's re-election. Many countries recognized Guaidó, but the military backed Maduro. The US imposed harsh sanctions, oil, finance, officials. While Venezuela collapsed, the United States grappled with deep challenges lingering from 2008. Donald Trump's victory, businessman and reality TV figure, shocked the establishment. His campaign tapped frustrations of those left behind by globalization and ignored by Washington. Norms broke, populist policies, a confrontational style. Polarization surged, the recovery continued, unemployment hit lows, but gains were uneven amid debates over trade, immigration, and healthcare. In 2020, COVID-19 hit hard, triggering a public health crisis and sudden downturn. Massive relief supported households and firms, far larger than in 2008. The election strained norms, but institutions held. Courts reviewed cases, power transferred, services continued. Basic goods remained available, despite disruptions and higher prices. Inflation surged, the worst in 40 years, but not Venezuela-style hyperinflation. The Fed raised rates. Life went on, with added pressure for many: gas, groceries, housing. The timelines of Venezuela and the United States over the past 2 decades show a stark divergence. Venezuela pinned hopes on a single resource. High oil prices funded a social revolution, but bred extreme dependency. When oil money ran out and conflict intensified, economy and state faltered. Hyperinflation, severe shortages, and mass exodus. Deep state control combined with international sanctions left few tools to recover. The US faced a severe crisis, but followed a different path. Diversified economy, resilient institutions, and powerful policy tools cushioned the blow. Political polarization, a pandemic, and inflation tested society, yet basic services and rule of law held. The key differences: over-reliance on oil, institutional erosion, and weakened private sector, versus economic diversity and resilient institutions. Migration flows underline the contrast, and sanctions became a crushing reality for Venezuelans. One dream of transformation turned into institutional and economic failure. The other endured crises without breaking. The lesson: economic diversity, institutional strength, and the profound consequences of political choices.
And that was the video I had for you guys. And I feel like the conflict between the U.S. and the Venezuelan government is more about power between the two presidents. I do feel for the Venezuelan people because they have suffered a lot because, like the video was showing, they have pretty much had one powerful resource, which is oil. And as long as you don't have a diversified economy, if you rely solely on one resource and your government is corrupt and they're taking all the money from those resources, the people who's going to pay is the people. Now, on our part, as far as the U.S. president, Mr. Trump, I don't feel like he's been open enough with the American people on explaining why he's doing what he's doing. If he will explain to us and say, hey, we're going into Venezuela because Maduro is a dictator and we're trying to take him out and all and this and that, well, at least we will have an idea of what's going on. I just wanted to bring you this video, guys, to try and understand the ongoing situation between the U.S. and Venezuela. I feel like I hope that they can work something out. And my major worry is the people of Venezuela, the civilians. Those are the people who have been paying and who are going to pay the consequences of whatever decision is made. I hope both governments can come to an agreement, and I honestly feel for the people of Venezuela because we have our Second Amendment. We all have our right to bear guns. When you disarm a whole nation and you take their guns away, they can defend themselves. And that's pretty much what has happened in countries like Cuba, countries like Venezuela. They have disarmed the people. North Korea too. They took the guns away from the people. So now the government has all the power in all the governments, and the people cannot really, protest or defend themselves because they don't have the resources to do it. So I hope that Maduro, if he's watching this, I hope he understands that his people should be first, not his own personal interest. He chose to be the president. People voted him in, and but since then he has been directing this country pretty much like a dictatorship. So I hope that things can change. I just wanted to bring you this video so we can have a little bit of an understanding of the two countries and why we are in the situation we are with Venezuela. And thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. This is JC Diaz Uncensored. I'll see you guys on the next video, and take care. Peace.